Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we're super happy to have you here. And if you've been listening and enjoying for a while, I would be super grateful if you would please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the best and simplest ways to pay it forward and help others find the show so that they too can tap into the powerful perspectives and positive vibrations we are collectively emanating. The other unique and magical way to share this show is by sending any friends you think would benefit from listening to this podcast our Game with the Universe link at positivehead.com/game. Also listed in the show notes, which will serve them up a quote-unquote random episode when they click it. Just instruct them before clicking the link to close their eyes for a moment and sincerely ask the universe to cue up the episode that contains the insight and perspectives that they most need to hear at this point in their life journey, and then click to listen to whatever episode is synchronistically served up to them. I have heard time and time again from people about the incredible results they received playing the game. So just tell your friends magical results are guaranteed or their karma back.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome one and all. I am very excited you've joined me on this magical today, where it's one of those extra specially magical days where I have the lovely Sarah Breskman Cosme here with me. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Erica. I'm so happy to be here to join you. This is fun.
You guys, we are still in the magical Kauai, Hawaii, and we've just had a really wonderful trip with so many synchronicities about Lemuria. And Sarah happens to have 2 different past lives that she's aware of in Lemuria. So I thought it would be fun to have a little chat with her today about ancient Lemuria.
Oh my gosh, it's so interesting, isn't it? Like how everything is happening at once, so you can have multiple lives happening at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is happening in the now. But it was so interesting because Erica and I have been on this trip where we all met all these other QHHT practitioners, and so as part of the reunion they do regression on someone. They decided to do a regression on me, and in this regression I remembered a past life in Lemuria where I was a female and I was part of these ceremonies. And it was really interesting because from what I remember of the ceremonies, the staffs that some of the women priestesses had created like a sound that came out of them. It was like a very low tone, and they had different crystals that they used kind of create or sort of like use the crystals in conjunction with the earth to create certain frequencies and tap into different dimensions. That's what it appeared to be like. Like when they would do these sacred ceremonies, a different dimension would open up. And what was really interesting was that I saw in this lifetime that as part of this group, we were trying to hold these sacred ceremonies in this sacred part of the earth, you know, so that people couldn't find it. And we realized that the visitors were coming. And so we opened up this hole or this area in the earth, and we had to place the crystals deep within the earth, like miles and miles deep. But with the staff and with the crystals and with our ceremonies, we were able to easily do this. We had that type of ability. And then we almost like imprinted these crystals within ourselves, and we knew that we would come back to meet each other all again and bring these imprints back to this area and be together again. And in my session, I realized that all the people that were here on this trip were the ones that did this in a previous lifetime. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. So we were talking about synchronicities. Well, I didn't know this, but other people had had similar memories or knew they were coming back. So many people had stories that in their regressions, they also knew. They remembered in their regressions that they had stored crystals inside of them, imprinted these crystals. I mean, how weird is that? So it was like so validating, because I'm not talking about like one or two.
Exactly. There's many.
So
myself included.
Many people
Yeah.
had remembered this before my regression, which
Yes.
was really mind-blowing.
So when you said that, that's when a lot of people in the audience started to cry because
They were
had seen-
crying?
That's absolutely yes, because
Oh.
these certain things that were said really triggered the memory because the memory had come up in this life in
Wow.
one way, shape, or form. Like for me, it came in meditation that I was shown that I had this crystal inside of me and it looks like a Lemurian crystal.
Oh my gosh.
And so that when you said that, I started crying. And the woman behind me started crying, and then we started holding hands, and
Aw.
yes, just to support each other in our, sisterly remembrance, really, because it was intensely powerful.
But I think it's anytime you get together with a group.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to think to yourself, I wonder why, of all places on the earth and of all times, I'm here with this group. Do you ever wonder that? I do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always like, how do we all know each other and what brought us all together? And, it was really interesting when they were asking to speak with my higher consciousness. Well, I'm kind of forgetting what they said, but it was something about each person carries information for one another or something like that. Do you remember? I was pretty unconscious.
Yeah, no,
It was
each person helps to ignite the
Oh,
remembrance
that's right, yeah.
within the other. Yes.
that's
and
right.
that's what we've been doing for each other this entire
We
trip.
have been. It's interesting how you activate one another too. Like going in nature activates you, obviously, but you never realize sometimes that when you get together in these groups, that is what's going to activate you or
Yes.
trigger something or give you some new ability that you didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting how people do that, for one another. But this place, like this Kauai, is so absolutely beautiful. And, certain lands or certain places really hold a special frequency, and
Yes.
this is definitely one of those places. You feel it when you get here.
You do.
To me, the energy here feels very mothering. Like
Very
there's
much so.
much nature, and it's so strong here, the intelligence of this nature. It just keeps communicating.
Yeah.
Like you saw that red bird today.
Oh, yeah, we saw Red Cardinal, who actually, the reason why we saw him is because he was kind of yelling at us. Hey, look at me, look at me. He was hard not to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, there's been so many synchronicities, and people came here on this trip either like by accident
Yeah.
or they were just Googling something and it popped up and they just thought,
Or
I
a
need
friend
to
invited
go.
them, and they're like, that feels like the right place for me right now.
Right.
There was even a woman who came up to me and told me about a dream that she had had before she got here.
Wow.
And the dream that she had was exactly or very, very similar to when we did a group past life regression. I had a visual of being in ceremony in ancient Lemuria, and I explained it to the group, and she came up to me afterwards and said, I dreamt that before I came here.
Oh my God.
And this has been happening,
The whole
like we
trip.
said, the entire trip.
It's magical.
Yes.
It's magical when, and I think a part of it is the evolution of our consciousness.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us, and I'm sure your listeners, are really mentally already in like the fourth and fifth dimension.
That's why they're listening to this show.
Right? Of course. And this magic happens when you're kind of in that dimension, thinking about these things or kind of like realizing the magic around you. Things really start to unfold. It's like you really become part of this magical journey. You see the synchronicities, you hear the messages from the nature around you, and you just feel like you're on this different path than you were before you mentally got into this frequency or this dimension.
I just love it how we're like so completely guided, protected. Everything
Yeah.
is so divine. Like all of the people who were here that just, I don't know why I need to be here. I just need to be here.
Right.
They were guided here. They just listened. And if you think about it, if we just did that all the time, we really don't need to do anything. We
I
don't need to worry about anything
I
because it's
know.
all handled.
It
all
is.
taken care of all the time.
It's like I think about this house that I really wanted to buy. Like I wanted to buy it so badly and it wouldn't work out. And I was so mad. And I just thought, how can I make this work? But I wasn't wasn't supposed to. It wasn't the right house, because right after that, the right house came and was available.
Right.
And it's the universe is always working out for us.
Yes.
If we just
may not
trust
know it in the moment, right?
I know. Everything is working out for us for the best, for the better. And it might not feel like that. Like when you miss, maybe you miss an opportunity, or you think you missed an opportunity, but really it could have saved you from like a car wreck, or who knows. The universe is literally helping you at all times, always.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a quick moment to tell you about our sponsor, Talkspace. As a listener of this podcast, you know it's important to prioritize your mental health and wellness, because when you work on yourself, you'll start to see and feel positive changes in all areas of your life. When it comes to getting help via therapy, Talkspace makes it super convenient to get mental health care with or without insurance to fit your needs. The long-term effects of therapy can give you the tools to deal with challenges as they arise and lead to a more optimistic outlook on life. And you don't need to wait until something goes wrong in your life to work with a therapist. Of course, Talkspace is also there to help with any specific challenges you might be facing. It's the #1 online therapy platform with thousands of licensed therapists trained in over 40 specialties, including anxiety, depression, relationships, and more. Your therapist can help you set and achieve your goals. And as a listener of this podcast, you'll get $100 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com and use code POSITIVE. So to match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com and use the code POSITIVE to get $100 off of your first month.
Oh my God, you guys, guess what? Okay, so last night, Sarah and I decided, okay, it's our last night, let's take a nice sunset stroll on the beach. And it's just the two of us left. And it feels kind of funny just being here without everyone else, but we're enjoying ourselves completely. And so we walked down to the sunset and happened to find a beach that is the most perfect sunset beach. So we find this on our last night, which is great.
And we took like 1,000 selfies.
And then after our selfie session that we had a whole photo shoot done.
A whole photo shoot.
It was the lighting and the colors.
It was
and
amazing.
it was unbelievable. And then we heard the drumming. And I looked at Sarah and I said, "What is that?" "It's a luau." And so we walked down the beach just 50 feet, 100 feet maybe. And well, it was probably a little bit further than that, but close. And we got to sit there on the beach and watch the most spectacular luau we'd seen ever.
It was the
my
best
favorite
luau.
Yeah.
And we were just looking at each other like, oh my gosh, like how did we manifest this?
Yes.
Then Erica said, she's like, oh my, we should put our focus together and manifest something else. So she's like, what do you want to manifest? And I was just quiet, thinking to myself. And then all of a sudden, all these hot guys started showing up on stage and started doing dance. I was like, Erica, this is what was in my mind. I didn't say it.
I didn't say it out loud.
But all of a sudden it was like, wow, manifestation is working.
It works so easily, so incredibly easily. And here's what's even more amazing about this luau that we went to. And this is why I loved it so much.
And there were tons of hot guys at
Yes,
this
there
luau.
were, yes. The woman who was hosting the luau would tell Hawaiian stories, Hawaiian legend, before each dance to explain what the dance was about and what the legend is behind it, or what the traditional story is behind it. And she told a story that almost exactly matched the ceremony that I saw in my past life regression and that the girl dreamed about.
Wow, tell the story.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. Like, how can I not tell you this story now? Okay, right down at the beach point where we are staying, there is a big circular stone structure. And these stones are put together in such a way that they look man-made, in the sense that nature didn't do that, and this looks ancient. You know when you see those ancient structures where the lines between the rocks are so perfectly put together? You know, these rocks just fit together so perfectly, and this is how this stone circle is set. And this island is actually the top of what used to be ancient Lemuria, the big, huge mountain that used to be here before all of the water came up so high. So we're really here on this tip of the top of the mountain. And so what I saw in the past life regression was a procession of women in white dresses carrying torches of fire, and we would climb the mountain in this spiral up the mountain. And when we got to the mountain, or we got to the stone circle, we would all sit around the circle with our fire, and the circle at that time was a pool of this beautiful turquoise water, and one person would get in the center of the pool at a time, and everyone else around the circle would send that person energy. That person that was in the center then would integrate that energy, work it through them, and send it through their heart center out into the ocean, far and wide, as far as that love could go. That is the story the woman told last night. So, wow, to hear it in a traditional Hawaiian story after just seeing it on my own. And
it's so validating.
And by the way, joking that, I was just, at first, or because we did 2 different regressions, and I joked with the girls, oh yeah, I saw us in Lemuria, but I'm probably making it up. And I know better. I know I'm not making it up, but I was teasing.
Right.
So then when they brought me into the ceremony, they made it so I could feel it very intensely. And Sarah was next to me, and
I saw you crying.
Heard me. I had to breathe my way through it because it was an entire Kundalini experience that I had there. So the minute we woke up, what happened? Tell us. Yeah.
Wow,
and then your
amazing.
ceremony that you saw in your past life regression was really interesting because there was a lot of different similarities, and to hear of the different types of ceremony that we would do.
Yeah, and it was really interesting because the lifetime I saw, I wasn't quite a woman yet. I was like probably adolescent, and I was still a helper. So I really wasn't totally prepared 100% because it seemed like you really had a lifetime of preparing for this ceremony. You really had to learn how to go in and out of these dimensions, and you would learn from the elders, and they had different abilities just from doing those simple practices. But when you do those simple practices, they become something that you can actually use and create more power with,
Absolutely. And what you notice about this is it happens in a group, like we were just saying earlier. It's the power of that group. You need the group consensus. You need the group number. It's exponentially more powerful.
It is
the
so
more you have
much more powerful.
Focused intention like that.
That's one of the reasons why doing things like, your amazing podcast and doing groups and sharing with groups is so amazing, because as a collective, we can really advance so much quicker. When we all support one another and, send love to one another, it's limitless what we can really do. We can do so much. And, ancient Lemuria was a really good example of that, of what they could do in this power of just a group with these simple practices of, sending love and ingesting this certain frequency and becoming one with nature. So it's just a really beautiful thing to be reminded of.
And also the simplicity of it.
Yeah, the simplicity of it.
You think you have to do all these things, and really, no. Just to be quiet.
Yeah.
And focus your intention.
Right.
That's it, really. Pay attention to your body. Feel your feelings. Work with your energy.
Right, exactly.
It's so simple. And then nature all around us has the tools, like the crystals, here to help us.
Yeah, it's amazing. Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm fascinated with Lemurian crystals and all of the information contained within them.
Well, according to my clients, that was such a huge part of their culture, and they understood how to use the crystals for many different reasons, but one was to communicate with their ancient ancestors. And what I found really interesting about this was when they were under hypnosis and remembering this, they realized that their ancient ancestors were star people, not humans. And that was really fascinating to find out as I was uncovering all this information for my book,
Which book is that,
A
Sarah?
Hypnotist Journey to Atlantis.
The very first one you wrote, because now you've written 3.
I've written 3, yes. And yet it was really interesting how simple it is. Like, even in our day-to-day lives, you can use crystals, and it's actually really easy. Some of my clients, when they're under hypnosis, remember that to really work with crystals, all you have to do is simply develop a relationship with it. It's like becoming in tune to the subtle frequencies and energy the crystals are communicating back with you. And it's all part of what we're doing as a collective, becoming aware of subtle energies and subtle frequencies, like the subtle energies of nature around you. When we learn to really do this, a lot of our dormant nature that's not really online yet will become more alive within us, so we'll have a lot more capabilities. So I mean, just bringing this ancient, stuff back, this simple ancient stuff back, really improves our life in so many aspects. You can try it. Just get a crystal and develop a relationship with it.
Yes, sit with it.
Yeah, sit with it.
Ask it
Talk
questions.
to it.
Yeah,
and just
feel into it.
Read the subtleties of it. And it might not be very strong at first, but if you keep this up and you keep practicing, it will become stronger and stronger. And this will help you develop other abilities, using these subtle energies and becoming aware of them in your day-to-day life.
Yeah,
and then you'll be able to tell who's a jerk or who's not. And like the same way, you'll pick up on it and you'll be like, oh, whoa, no, can't talk to that person.
It's true. I call that a good egg, bad egg meter, which I have inside. You can pick up these little subtle energies about people, and I will know, are you safe to let into my space, or are you someone who I'd rather set a boundary with?
Right? You know right away. You know right away.
And it's because of paying attention to these subtle energies.
Of course.
Yeah.
Definitely, 100%.
Well, Sarah, I think that's it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us today. We love you so much, and we're going to leave you with a song. This is Nako and Medicine for the People, Aloha Kea Kua. And also, actually, before this song, go ahead, Sarah.
You guys, I hope that you can join me at this year's Conscious Life Expo in LA. I'm speaking about the secrets of the Sphinx at 12 o'clock this Sunday, and I'm super excited to be doing that. I'm also going to be teaching a workshop on how to tap into the quantum field using self-hypnosis techniques, which I'm really excited to share with people. And I have no one to hang out with yet on this Hidden Secrets cruise, okay? Don't leave me to the sharks.
Come to the cruise to be Sarah's best friend, so she has
because
someone to hang out with.
Yeah, it looks super fun. Please be my friend. It's a Hidden Secrets cruise. But no, realistically, I'm also really excited to share some very cool hidden secrets, which I haven't shared with anyone yet. So I'm going to be doing that on the Hidden Secrets cruise, which is April 7th to the 14th, and it's called Divine Cruise Lines. But make sure you mention my name so I can get credit.
Sarah.
Sarah Breskman Cosme, okay? Not Jimmy Church, okay? Sarah Breskman Cosme.
And you mentioned CLE this weekend?
Yes, this weekend's going to be so
In LA.
fun.
Okay, good.
I'm super excited. But if you see me, please come and say hi.
Me too.
And
Yes.
Erica will be there.
I'll give you a big hug.
Yeah. Me
right,
too.
you guys.
No, I don't know you.
We love you so much. We're leaving you with the song for today by Nako and Medicine for the People. Aloha Kea Kua. Until next time, we love you all.
Love you. Love you.
Lend your ears, lend your hands, lend your movement, anything you can. Come to teach, come to be taught, come in the likeness and the image of God, 'cause you can be like that, with all that humbleness and all that respect. All the power invested in me. Beat hard to love my enemies. All of the black bags over the heads of the dead and dying. The more I understand about the human race, the less I comprehend about our purpose and place. And maybe if there was a clearer line, the curiosity would satisfy. Time-based prophecies that kept me from living in the moment. I am struggling to trust the divinity of all the gods and what the hell they have planned for us. I cry for the creatures who get left behind, but everything will change in the blink of an eye. And if you wish to survive, you will find the guide inside. go back and forth every single day. The clarity it comes to me in the choppy waves. The feelings, the places, the seasons change. The galaxies remain. Energy fails upon the body to space. The angels that accomplish the spiritual waste. The hate that gets me displaced from my spiritual base. Tenfold I'm on when the planets are placed in polar alignment. We're on assignment. Bodies on consignment. Return them to the circus. And what is the purpose? What is the purpose? And would you believe it? Would you believe it if you knew what you were for and how you became so informed? Bodies of info performing such miracles. I am a miracle made up of particles, and in this existence I'll stay persistent and I'll make a difference, and I will have lived it. Aloha, aloha, keakua, keakua. Aloha, aloha, kuleana, kuleana. Aloha, aloha, keakua, keakua. Aloha, aloha, kuleana, kuleana. I'm not a leader, just a creature, seeking the features of a teacher. Where do you follow, where do you lead? All the mysterious ways of nature, and I'm into it.
I'm into it.
Changing management. And there are various ways to conquer this monotonous metropolis. My stubbornness is bottomless, my fearlessness is talking shit, and I'm wide awake.
I'm wide awake.
And I'm taking names.
I'm taking notes.
Do you speak to me like you speak to God? All the love and understanding between the Father and the Son. Do you believe in the perfectness of where you are? These are my people, these are my children, this is the land that I would fight for. My solidarity is telling me that patiently be moving the musical medicine around the planet in a hurry, cause there's no time to wait.
There's no time to wait.
I gotta wake up, my baby, it's time to stand up and say we know what we are for and how we became so informed. Bodies of info performing such miracles. I am a miracle made up of particles, and in this existence I'll stay persistent and I'll make a difference, and I will have lived it. Aloha, aloha, keakua, keakua. Aloha, aloha, kuleana, kuleana. Each day that I wait, I will praise, I will praise. Each day that I wait, I give thanks, I give thanks. Each day that I wait, I will praise, I will praise. Each day that I wait, I give thanks, I give thanks. And the day that I don't wake up and transcend the holy makeup, I am capable, I am powerful. The day that I don't wake up and transcend the holy makeup, I am on my way to a different place.